Hi guys, welcome to class. How is everybody today? Ready for some reading? Welcome back, Jocelyn.
Coucou, it's still me.
Still here?
I am only days.
Yeah, small classes today.
Otherwise, I work.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. What days do you work?
I work in the bank.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Today, the weather is very bad. I prefer to learn English.
Yeah, stay inside, right? Hi, Anne. How are you?
Hello, thank you. I'm well. And how are you?
I'm doing well.
Actually, this account belongs to my husband, but he joined me, and I decided to try instead of him to have some lesson in verbally.
Awesome. Well, welcome. Is this your first lesson?
It's my second lesson.
Great.
First lesson was with Lauren, and you are my second teacher.
Awesome. And why are you learning English?
Where?
Why?
Why? Because we are going to migrate to Canada.
Wow.
I hope so very soon, but I am not sure. So I should to improve my English level.
Well, good to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you.
If anybody has two Verbling pages open, will you close the main page and just keep this video page open? Otherwise, we're going to get an echo feedback. Thank you. Okay, so let's do a few more introductions. Ayat, can you introduce yourself for us?
Yes, hi teacher. How are you doing today?
Good, welcome back.
Thank you. I will introduce myself.
Excellent.
I'm Ayat and I'm from Algeria.
All right, and why do you learn English with Verbling?
Why? With Verbling or why do?
Either one. Why English and why Verbling?
I love this language and I need it for my studies.
Awesome. Thank you.
Never mind.
Dean Vu, is that how I say your name? Dean? I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me. I also cannot pronounce your name properly, so sorry. If you need to unmute yourself, there's a button in the top right corner of the screen. It should be a red microphone. You can click that and you'll unmute yourself. Excellent. Jocelyn, would you like to introduce yourself to the new class?
My name is Jocelyn. I live France. I learn English because I often travel. I work in the bank. I need to speak English find my job.
Thank you very much, Jocelyn. John?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
My name is John. I am from Colombia. I need to learn English because I need to finish my studies. And I want to learn very much with you.
Awesome, glad to have you in class.
Okay.
All right. Majid? Russell Majid?
Russell.
Russell.
Yeah, hi. How are
Hi. Good. Welcome to class.
you? Thank you.
Where are you from?
I'm from Iraq, but I'm lived in United States about 6 months ago. I want to learn English because I wanna get a job. So I
Awesome.
joined with you.
And where in the U.S.?
I live in New York, Rochester.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Really exciting. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Selma? Are you there, Selma? I can't hear you. You might have to unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good, thank you.
Will you introduce yourself for us?
Yes, for sure. Well, I am Salma from Algeria, and I am learning English because it is my specialty. Because I'm already studying English at university, uh, and I've been using Verbling for 3 months ago. So I enjoy learning using Verbling. Use Verbling in improving my pronunciation and my listening skill.
Awesome. All right, guys, this is going to be an excellent class. I'm glad we have so many people. So today we're reading a couple short stories, and we're going to talk a little bit about reading in general and what you guys think is the easiest and the hardest part about reading. Do you guys have the links, the class links?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so the first one we're going to read is City and Crime. City and Crime. So, does everyone have that up? Is everyone ready to read it?
Yes.
Yes.
We're gonna jump right into reading it, and then after we're done reading, we're gonna discuss some of the difficulties of reading in a foreign language, and also we're gonna discuss the topic of city and crime. So, very first paragraph. Anne, would you be brave and read the first paragraph for us?
Sorry, Claire, but I couldn't find link for this text.
Okay, I will message it to you. Are you looking at the Verbling chat box?
Yes, so but I close the main page. Is it also that's I couldn't
No,
find.
you can get the chat box right on here. Do you see the message I just sent
Yes,
you?
I see. I see.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready to start.
Okay, thank you.
Crime in the city of Clio hit a 30-year low last year. This is absolutely wonderful for our citizens, our businesses, and our visitors, said Police Chief Louise Gates. Clio has a population of 28,000, but it has at least 30 gangs. The gangs make most of their money from dealing drugs and offering protection. They also commit violent crimes such as murder, battery, and rape.
Okay, thank you. So let's talk a little bit. Ooh, there's an echo again. Does anyone have two Verbling pages open? Try and keep those closed if you can. So let's talk about vocabulary. There's some vocabulary that's important for us to understand here.
Yes. Where is Clio?
What?
Where is the city of Clio? Clio.
Oh, I actually don't know where that is in the U.S., but it's kind of a small city. It's not a very large place because it only has 28,000 people. So I'm not sure where in the U.S. it is, but it's not that important exactly where it is. But I can find out for you. I'll look right now where it is. I should have looked that up.
Okay.
Okay. But some of the vocabulary we should talk about is things like, well, does everyone know what a gang is?
Yes. In the context, the word battery.
Okay. And what does a gang do?
They steal banks.
They what?
Kill people.
Yeah, they commit crimes. They kill people. Clio is in Michigan. So that's like the north of the US.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. They offer protection, and the protection is in quotation marks. Do you guys know what they mean by protection?
Yes.
To save.
To save them.
Security.
Security, yeah.
Security. Yeah.
But
We
when
call
they
it in Russian roof. A roof.
what?
In Russian, we call it roof. They give roof to some organization or people to save them from anybody.
Yeah, exactly. And in this context, it's a little interesting too because a lot of gangs will ask for large sums of money, and this protection they're offering is actually protection against the gang. So the gang, they basically say, give us money and we won't hurt you. So that's what they mean by this protection. And then, are there any other vocabulary questions from this paragraph?
Yes.
Can
Okay.
okay, go
Battery.
ahead.
What?
Battery.
I don't have a question.
Gang? Did someone just ask the word gang?
Mm.
Yes or no?
Lots of people.
Any other vocabulary questions?
No.
Can you explain what does it mean, battery?
All right. Does anyone know that term already? What is battery? Anyone know?
No.
All right. Battery is when you physically abuse someone. So you punch them, you hit them, you injure them in some way physically. So their violent crimes are murder, when you kill someone, battery, when you fight with someone or beat someone up, and rape. And does anyone have a question on the term rape?
No.
All right. So any other vocabulary words?
Of fifth
Ex-
paragraph?
What? Was there a question? No. All right. Then we're going to move on to the second paragraph. Ayat, will you read the second paragraph for us?
Okay. There were 1,040 486 thieves last year. Most of the thieves involved cars. Thieves also robbed people at gunpoint or pickpocketed them. They broke into houses and businesses at the alarming rate of two a day 2 years ago, but that rate was down the only one a day last year. That's a 50% decrease in 1 year. Payment Gates. I think the officers deserved a big pat on the back. Even better, maybe they will get that 10% rise that they are all hoping for next fiscal year.
All right. That was a very difficult paragraph. Thank you. All right. Thefts. What is a theft?
It's a person who steal another person.
So a thief is a person who steals. A thief is a person. We've got two different forms of the word here. It says most of the thefts involved cars. Thieves also robbed the people. A thief, as in thieves also robbed, are people. What is a theft?
Things are the thieves stolen?
Yeah, exactly. When the action when something is stolen,
Yeah.
it's a theft. So that's the action of a theft. So we have the noun for the action, and then we have the noun for the person. Thief and theft.
Thief and theft?
Yes, exactly. Because thief is also a verb. So we have a thief, a thief, and thief. So we have so it can be a verb at times, thief, and the noun of it is a theft. So when something is stolen, when there is a robbery committed, it is a theft.
Okay.
And now we're going to talk a little bit about the difference between a robbery and a pickpocket. So a theft is both a robbery and a pickpocket. A theft is a very general term. But does anyone know the difference between a robbery and a pickpocket?
Okay.
Pickpocket, I think the theft products in the street.
Yeah, so a pickpocket is when a person literally picks something out of your pocket. So they take your wallet, they take your cash, they take your credit card or your watch or your cell phone. They take something out of your pocket and they steal it that way. And what is a robbery?
Robbery is like what happens in banks.
Yeah, it could happen at a place of business. Definitely. It's when it could happen at a bank or a store. You could also use it for your house, but usually it's used for like a bank or a store or something. So both of those are thefts. Robbing and pickpocketing, they're both thefts, but they're different kinds of thefts. So theft is general, robbery and pickpocket are more specific. Any other vocabulary questions from this paragraph? How about fiscal year? What is a fiscal year? Fiscal year. Anyone?
Something like financial year.
Yeah, exactly. Financial year. So it just has to do with money. Any other vocabulary questions?
No.
Excellent. Let's move on to paragraph number 3. Dites-vous Guyenne? Are you there? Nope. Okay. If you're having trouble with your microphone or audio, let us know in the chat box, okay? If you need help. Then, Jocelyn, will you read paragraph number 3?
Yes. Citing an example of how the police force has helped reduce the crime, Katz talked about bicycle thefts. For years and years, kids were locking up their bikes at the bike stands in front of school, library, and malls. About 10% of the time, the kids would come out of the school or ever and discover that their bike was no longer there. Someone had cut the lock and stolen the bike. We worked our brains trying to find a solution to this problem. Finally, at the beginning of last year, we hit upon it. We simply removed most of the bicycle stands, then the bicycle theft ride came down quickly.
All right. Vocabulary questions?
Yeah, racket. We racket or raid rackets.
Racked our brains. It means like almost to beat your brain. Like you're thinking so hard about the problem that you're like hurting yourself. You're just thinking so hard about it. So it's like to beat your brain, to injure your brain in thinking.
Is how thinking very much.
Yeah, thinking so hard. When you rack your brain, it means you're thinking so hard you're almost hurting yourself.
Right.
Any other vocabulary questions?
No, thank you.
What about
what about worked?
where? What's the context?
Wrecked?
That's the one we just talked about, racked our brains, right?
Our brains. Okay.
So racked our brains means to think so hard that you're hurting yourself, like almost to hit your brain in
With
order
your
to come up
brains.
with an idea. Any other vocabulary questions?
No.
What about we hit upon it? They said, finally, at the beginning of last year, we hit upon it. What do they mean by that? It's not a very common phrase. What do they mean by it when they say we hit upon it? What are they talking about? What is it?
We control it?
Yeah, so they...
Or we...
Problem?
we a punishment?
No, not a punishment. So I'm going to read a few sentences and then ask you again. Finally, at the beginning of last year, we hit upon it. We simply removed most of the bike stands.
We
Then
have,
the bike...
we have idea.
The idea, is that what you said?
We have idea
Yeah.
to remove the stand.
Exactly. So it is talking about the idea. We hit upon it means like we came up with an idea. We discovered the solution. We hit upon it. So it's kind of a strange phrase, but it refers to the idea they found. Any other vocabulary questions? I think that probably those are the only difficult ones. Do you guys think that that was a good solution to the problem? Does that sound like a good solution? No?
Yes,
Why do you think it was a good solution, Jocelyn?
because there are a lot of diminution the theft, crime, etc.
Yeah. So it was a solution. Now there aren't so many thefts. That's good.
Don't use it, the biscuits.
Yeah. No one's using bicycles, right? So I guess it's a good solution, but at the same time, it doesn't really make that much sense because basically what they did is they stopped people from using bikes. So if you can't use bikes, then you can't have your bike stolen. So it's kind of a funny solution, right? All right. John, would you like to read the next paragraph?
Okay. Most cities in the state have similar problems. They are involved too many people, too much crime, too few police, and too light funding. These problems are part and parcel of civilization everywhere. They may diminish, but they will probably never disappear. All people can do is hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
Thank you. Any vocabulary questions from this paragraph?
The word diminish.
Diminishes.
Diminish. Does anyone know that word?
Yes, decrease.
Yes.
What?
Decrease.
Too low.
Yeah, to lower, to lessen, to reduce, to make less.
Diminish.
Any other vocabulary? What about funding? What's funding?
Money.
Someone give you
Money.
money or
Investment?
thing?
Yeah, they're talking about the money, the finances of the police department. Exactly. Okay, so now I have a question for each of you. We're going to talk a little bit about the article we just read, and then we're going to read a second article. So if you did not already have a chance to read, don't worry, you will get a chance. I'm going to start on the right with Selma, and I'm going to ask what you think of this article and what crime is like in your city.
Well, I think that the article is interesting. It states a lot of facts about Clio City and the different crimes that your city is suffering from. Well, for my town, actually, I live. I think it's kind of, you can say, peaceful town. The biggest crime is like robbing someone, and if there are other crimes, well, I have no idea about it because I don't read news. So I think that what I hear is just someone robs the other. That's all.
Okay, so there's not that much crime where you live?
Yes.
That's good. But there is a little bit of crime?
Yes, only stealing crime.
And it's a small city, you said?
Yes, small city.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Welcome.
Russell,
Yes.
what did you think of the article, and what is crime like in your city?
I think it is offer one of the problem the people living and in the city, and they suffer of the thieves. But but uh, but in my city, I many problems.
Really?
I heard yes. Um, I think many thieves stole everything, and
Wow.
yes, because I think here uh, many poor people, so they do everything to live, and I don't know.
So if there's
Yes,
poor people, they have need, and so they maybe steal or commit crimes.
yes, and some of them unbelievable personal. And natural. I can see this is ungood people. I don't
That's not
know.
good. Is it a large
Yeah.
city or a small city?
Uh, I live now in a small city, but when I will go to downtown, now this is big dangerous.
Dangerous.
Yeah,
Hmm.
especially for
Unfortunate.
girls. Yeah, because
Yeah,
they are many rapes, many.
that's
Oh my
not good.
God. Yes.
Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing.
I think.
Manel,
Yes.
hi. Did you read the article with us? Did you see all of it?
Yes, I was here. I could read
Excellent.
it. I actually
Excellent.
read it.
And tell us what you thought of the article and how crime is in your city.
Well, I could relate to the article because I think that crimes happen everywhere, but in my city, well, especially in my neighborhood, we don't have that like a high rate of crimes because everybody know each other, and I don't think that thief can, for example, come and rob your house because it's like a crowded neighborhood, so they cannot unless they want to do it at night, but it's so secure. But I think in general we have robbery of the houses, and maybe drug dealing. That's all.
All right. Interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
John,
Yes.
what did you think of the article and how is crime in your city?
I think that the problem is the crime is because many people don't have good education, and uh, if, if they don't get good jobs.
Yeah, that's a big problem. If there's a financial need or if there's a lot of poor people, then there's usually more crime. Right?
Okay.
Do you live in a large city or a small city?
Uh, I live in Syria. Please repeat.
A large city or a small city?
A large city.
Okay.
I live in large
So
city.
sometimes large cities have more crime.
Okay.
All right. Jocelyn,
Yes.
what did you think of the article and how is crime in your city?
This article is very interesting. I live in the village where is a small theft. There is not a crime, but at Paris the situation is very different. The government puts large means to decrease the crimes, the flights, but it's difficult to face this problem because of conjuncture, employment, immigration, etc.
Okay. Interesting. Dean Vu Guyen, are you there?
No.
All right. Ayat, what did you think of the article and also how is crime in your city? Bless you. So what did you think, Ayat?
It's not.
Are you there, Ayat? Ayat?
Okay, I was muted. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I think that the article is very important that treats a phenomenon occur in most cities. Where I live in large cities. We have little crimes such as steal and especially drugs among the boys. Yes, and we have a few security in my
Few as in not that many, right?
what?
Not many security?
Yes,
Okay.
not many security.
I see.
Especially drugs between
And what about
boys.
Pickpocket? Pickpocketing.
Pickpocket? No, I when I were pickpocket, especially in downtown where it's crowded, and yes, it exists pickpocket, especially in downtown.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. Anne, can you give us your opinion on the article and tell us about crime in your city?
Yes, certainly. I live in a big city, and there are the same crimes which in article, except bicycle stolen, because our people don't like use bicycle, so we haven't bicycle at all. No bicycle, no stolen, no problems with them. But as for another crimes, we have the same problems. But I think this kind of article could not be written in my city because our crime statistic, unfortunately, is growing, but not is diminishing.
Not diminishing?
Not diminishing, yeah. I try to use new word.
Excellent. Great idea.
Yes.
All right. And Andrew, finally it's your turn.
Hey, hello.
Did you get to read the article?
No, unfortunately I haven't read the article.
Okay, that's all right. Then just tell us about crime where you live.
No, there are lots of types of crime here, such as drug pushing, car theft, and prostitution as well. And so, lots of types of crimes, yeah.
And do you think you have a higher rate of crime than most places, or is it about average?
It's about average. Yeah.
Do you live in a large city or a small city?
I live in a large city.
Okay, there's a lot of times there's more crime in larger cities because there's more people and that kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
All right. Any last comments or questions about this article before we move on to the next article?
No.
All right.
No.
Excellent. Does everyone have the next article already open? I can put it in the I'll put it in the chat box for anyone who does not already have it. So open the article and we'll begin reading in just a minute. This one is actually about Easter. So you'll get to kind of see, this is less of an article and more of a short story. And we'll get to talk a little bit about how Easter is celebrated in the US, and maybe you guys can tell me a little bit about how you guys celebrate Easter, or if you don't celebrate Easter, if you celebrate something else. So this time we'll start on the right to read, because last time we started on the left. So first person to read will be Selma. Can you read the first paragraph, Selma?
All right. Easter Sunday was a cloudy but festive day in Memorial Park for about 100 kids from local orphanages. An Easter egg hunt started at 10 a.m. when a fire engine blasted its horn. Boys and girls ranging in age from 2 to 6 dashed throughout the park, yelling and screaming, walking and running, and quite often falling down. One little girl, Amanda, found her first egg less than a minute after the horn blew.
Continue. Yes, please.
Instead of putting it into her basket and continuing to search for more, she sat down. Then she spent the next 10 minutes examining it, unwrapping it, and eating it piece by piece. When she finished, she put the wrapper into her basket, wiped her hands on her white dress, and went to hunt for another egg.
All right. So this is the beginning of a description of an Easter egg hunt, which is a common activity for Easter in the US. There are chocolates and little toys hidden around a park or yard, and children search for them. And you can keep anything you find. So if you find 5 pieces of chocolate, you get to keep all 5 pieces of chocolate. Any vocabulary questions from this section? What is an orphanage?
I just wanted to ask you.
Orphanages is a place where children live who don't have parents.
Yeah, people who don't have parents go there. Children who don't have parents.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Was there another question? Did anyone else have a question?
No.
No.
All right, I thought I heard another one. What about blasted? It says when a fire engine blasted its horn. What do they mean by blasted?
Blasted.
It's like an explosion.
Yeah. So when the horn sounds, when it explodes, when it occurs, blasted. You're right. It's like an explosion. How about dashed throughout the park? Dashed throughout the park. What does dashed mean?
Run?
Yeah, it's similar to run. It's very quick movement. Any other vocabulary things you guys want to talk about before we move on?
No.
I think that's all the most difficult words we already talked about. Okay, paragraph number 2 is for Russell to read.
Okay. Meanwhile, Jeff, one of the elderly boys, filled his buckets to overflowing. He asked one of the firemen to hold it for him, and then took off running for more candy eggs. As soon as he found some, He put them into the basket of the child closest to him. Two little uh, toddlers with saw a candy egg at the same time, and they both bent over to pick it up. They bunched hands, and both of them sit down, bowling. A couple of volunteer nurses picked them up and told them that everything was going to be all right.
Okay, so more of the hunt takes place in this paragraph. Any vocabulary questions? What is a toddler?
Toddler, it's children, I think maybe from 8 to 12.
It does mean children, but it's a little bit younger than that.
Younger.
Toddlers are children.
Kids.
Yeah, they're small children. They're below the age of 4. They're kids who can't really walk very well yet. So it comes from toddle is like when you kind of go from side to side when you walk. Here, I'll put myself on the big screen so you can see. If you toddle, it's kind of like when you go like this, kind of when you're not balanced. So a toddler is a child who is not old enough to walk well. So they go from side to side because they're not very balanced when they walk. Usually it's like 2 or 3 years old.
Okay, how do you call people? How do you call children from 6 to 12?
What?
How do you name children from 6 to 8? Not to 8, from 6 to 12, for example.
From 6 to 12?
Yeah, there is another term.
Well, I would probably just call them kids.
Not kids, okay.
You could call them preteens. There's a term called preteen. I'll put it in the chat box for you guys. So a teenager is someone who's 13, 14, 15, but someone who's earlier than that is a preteen. So sometimes you'll see kids that are like 10 or 11 or 12. They're referred to as preteens because they're older than children, but they're not teenagers yet. So
what about adolescents?
What?
What about adolescent?
Could be adolescent also. Okay. Other vocabulary terms from this paragraph?
What is the difference in when I use toddlers or children?
Toddlers are specifically very young children, so children of 2 or 3 years old.
Okay.
And children is a very general term. A child could be anything between 1 year old and maybe 15 years old.
Okay, thank you.
Any other vocabulary words from this section?
No.
How about bawling? The kids, they banged heads, and both of them sat down bawling. What does bawling mean?
Shouting.
Shouting. Or crying with noise?
Yeah, like crying. It's very extreme crying, so it's like really loud and anxious crying. Any other vocabulary words?
No, I don't know. No.
What's a volunteer?
The person that job he don't have pay.
Yeah, so someone someone who does a job but they don't receive money for the job they do.
Okay, money.
Yeah. Any other vocabulary words you guys want to talk about before we move on?
But no.
All right, then Manel, will you read the next paragraph? Manel?
Okay. By 11 a.m., the search was over. Most of the kids were studying their candy, exchanging it with others, or eating it. But then the fire in Jean's home blasted again, causing 3-year-old Jeannie to cry. A fireman on a bullhorn told everyone to gather around because a special guest has arrived.
Excellent. Vocabulary questions?
Bullhorn, please.
Bullhorn is just a very loud horn they use for the fire engines or sometimes for an ambulance. It's a really, really loud horn that is specific for emergency vehicles.
Is it like a siren, right?
What?
Siren or siren?
Yeah, similar to a siren, but instead of a siren is really long and a bullhorn is just one long. But it's not, a siren goes on for a long time.
Okay.
John, would you like to read the next paragraph for us?
Okay. Once everyone was settled, the Easter Bunny climbed down of the fire giant. The bunny was six tall. Most of the kids shouted and ran toward him. Even Jenny stopped crying for a moment. She started at the bunny and at all the kids running toward the bunny. Then she started crying even harder. The Easter Bunny hugged the kids and they hugged him. Then the Easter Bunny sat on a fire giant step, and one by one the kids came up, sat on his lap, and got their pictures taken. After that, the other kids were allowed to explore the fire engine itself. Oh.
Excellent, thank you. Vocabulary questions?
Cheered?
Child?
Most of the kids cheered.
Oh, cheered. Cheered is like when you yell in a good way, like when you're excited about something, and like you might cheer on your soccer team or a basketball team you like. You kind of yell in encouragement. Any other vocabulary words? For a second, let's talk about the difference between measurements. The bunny was 6 feet and 6 inches. So in the second sentence there, it says the bunny was 6'6", right? 6'6" means 6 feet and 6 inches. Does anyone know how tall that is in metric?
Sí. Bunny.
6'6".
Six-
mean 6'6".
Minutes and seconds?
No, so that's a measurement of height. So that's 6 feet and 6 inches tall. How many centimeters is that, or how many meters is that?
It's a measure.
I think it's 2 meters.
It's more than 2 meters. It's quite a bit more than 2 meters. It's like 2 meters and a third of another meter. So like 2.3 meters or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very tall rabbit, basically. Okay. Any other questions, or can we move on to the last paragraph? All right. Andrew, would you like to read the last paragraph for us? Are you there, Andrew? Uh-oh. All right. How about Jocelyn? Would you like to read the next paragraph?
Yes. The
Excellent.
festivities ended about 3 p.m. when the orphan climbed into the buses for the return trip home. Most of them said they had a fun time. 6-year-old Sarah asked, "Can we do this every Sunday?" And more than one boy asked, Can I drive the fire engine next time?
All right. Vocabulary questions from this last paragraph?
No, this paragraph is easy.
Yeah, this one was pretty easy. All right. So now that we're done, I have 2 questions. Well, we don't have that much time left, but I'll at least ask you each what you think is the most difficult part about reading. So I'll start. I'm going to start on the left. Andrew, are you there? All right. Anne, what do you think is the most difficult part about reading?
I don't know. I think that all parts might be about, I don't know, similar. If I mean that they are the same as of difficulty for me.
Okay. And do you think reading is more difficult than any other activities in English?
No, reading isn't difficult for me if comparing with speaking. Speaking is much difficult for me.
I see. All right. Jocelyn, what do you think? What's the most difficult part of reading for you?
Yes, there are a lot of vocabulary very difficult to pronounce.
Yeah, pronunciation can be difficult.
Pronunciation, yes, is very difficult for me.
All right, John, what do you think?
I think that the problem is the pronunciation equal Jocelyn, because I understand the words or many words, but in the moment of to speak, it's very difficult for me.
Yeah, it can be difficult to pronounce.
Many words.
Yeah. Manel, do you agree with them, or do you have a different opinion of why it's difficult to read?
Personally, I think that it's difficult to read because of the stress when everybody is silent, and I feel like there's pressure to say every word correct, and if you say it in another way, it would be hard to understand. But I don't think it's the most difficult skill in English. I think it's easy comparing to speaking and writing.
All right. I think I agree with you. There can be a lot of pressure, and it can be stressful to read all by yourself in front of many other people. But yeah, it might be a little easier for some than other activities. Russell, what do you think? What's the most difficult part of reading for you?
Not just part or 2 parts. I mean, I have a problem in my pronunciation, and I found many vocabulary I can't understand them, so I will read it because I wanted to understand. So in every part I have different vocabulary. I can't understand them.
Yeah, vocabulary. Yeah. There's a lot of vocabulary that you can learn.
Yes, because I'm not good in English, so I
disagree. I think you're very talented. Everyone here is of a very good English level. You should all be very proud for having read today. We did a good job.
This is the first day for me to enjoy you.
Excellent.
And Verpling.
I'm glad to have had you in class then.
Thank you.
Selma, what do you think about reading? What's the most difficult part about reading?
Well, what I think is the pronunciation of new words. Sometimes you do good enough with much familiar words than the new words.
And do you think do you think reading is one of the most difficult parts of English, or do you think there's more difficult things?
Well, I think the most difficult part or skill in English language is listening. I think reading, you can just practice, but with listening, sometimes if someone changes his accent, you cannot understand him.
Yeah, that's true. That can be very difficult, and there's lots of different accents.
Yes.
Andrew, you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. Can you hear me now?
Awesome. Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay.
So tell us why you think reading is difficult, and what
I
you
don't
think is
think
the
so.
most difficult part.
I think one of the issues when we read it's intonations, right? But I think listening and speaking English fluently is the most difficult part of it.
I see. What about listening? Do you have trouble listening sometimes? Like for different accents?
You know, all depends on the vocabulary. If I know vocabulary, I've got no problems.
All
If I
right.
don't, yeah, I face problems.
All right, guys. We just have a couple minutes left. Does anyone else have a question or comment to make? Nothing? Okay. Well, I'm going to leave you my Facebook name in the chat box in case you guys have any messages to send me. And if you guys want to send me like ideas for classes, if you want a class on a certain topic, you can send me those and ask me to do a class. Or if you have questions on anything else like homework or studying, or you heard a phrase you don't understand, feel free to message me, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can and help you out. So I hope to see you all again, and thank you so much for participating today and making this an excellent class.
Thank
Okay,
you.
teacher,
Thank you. Bye-bye, teacher.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys. Thanks.
See you.